Hi there. Let's take a few minutes and see what happens when we transform our data. So the first thing you want to do is enter the NFL scores from week 1 of the 2013-2014 season. You want to put those into list 1. So if you have this little half sheet handy, it says AP statistics data for considering shape and mean versus median. So the data I want to use are the data down here at the bottom. There are a total of 32 scores. We've used these before in class. So if you want to take the time to get those, there you go, you can see them all now. If you want to pause the video and you can take the time to get these all into list 1. Very good. So I already have these preloaded into list 1. So if you're following along with the handout that I created, you want to run the one variable stats on list 1, and we're going to summarize our measures of center and spread. So stat calculate one variable statistics for list 1. So there's the mean and there's the standard deviation. We've seen these before. And if you scroll down, you can see the 5-number summary. So the 49 minus the 2 will give us the range, and the 28 minus the 17, that will give us the IQR. So we'll take a second and fill those in. So the mean was 23.2 points. The median, 23.5 points. The standard deviation, 9.5 points. The range is 47 points. And the IQR is 11 points. Now, by transforming the data, we're going to make an adjustment to all of the values of our sample data. So let's talk about this in context. Let's say that each team scores an additional touchdown. So I want to take all of the scores and add another 7 points to all of those scores. So we'll assume they all get the extra point kick also. So this is the command that we want to execute in order to do this to all of the scores simultaneously. So on the home screen, I'll clear it. Second one will bring up the data from list 1. I'm going to add 7 to all of those, and then I'm going to store that into list 2. So remember, the store button is right here next to the number 1, to the left of the number 1. So now all our data are in list 2. So step number 4, let's run the one variable stats on list 2 and summarize the same values for center and spread. So stat calculate one variable statistics for list 2. So again, there's the mean, there's the standard deviation, and we can get the range and the IQR from the 5-number summary at the bottom. So we'll list those. The new mean is 30.2 points. The new median is 30.5 points. The new standard deviation is 9.5. The IQR is 11. And the range, 56 minus 9, that range is 47. So now I want you to compare. So notice the standard deviation did not change. The range did not change. The IQR did not change. What changed were the mean and the median. So both the median and the mean, both of those went up by exactly 7 points. So notice that adding the same value to each entry of the data set increases the measures of center by that value, in this case by positive 7, but does not affect the measures of spread. If instead of adding values, we had subtracted something from all of those scores, same thing. The measures of center would have dropped by that amount, but it wouldn't have changed the spread. So to observe why this is the case, let's put up 2 box and whisker plots. Our data should be in lists 1 and list 2, so I want to set up 2 box and whisker plots so I can graph them simultaneously. And to make things a little more convenient for you, I gave you the window here. So make sure I've got my window, x minimum of 0, max of 100, scale of 5. The y values don't really matter. I just set them to -3, 12, and 1, but there's no reason why you need those. In particular, they don't matter for box and whisker plots. So second y equals, notice I have list 1 set up for plot number 1. I have list 2 set up for plot number 2. So those plots are currently off. So I need to go in and turn both of those plots on. There we go. Plot number 1 is on. Box and whisker plot from list 1. So for the second plot, right now it's off. I need to turn it on. It should be set as a box and whisker plot for list 2. So here we go. So here is the graph for the original data. And so hopefully what you can see, all that's happened by adding a touchdown to every team, notice the minimum increased by 7. Q1 increased by 7. The median, Q3, the end of this whisker, and even the outlier, all of them increased by exactly 7. So all we've done is shift all of the values to the right. We have not changed how far they are spread out because every point shifted exactly the same amount to the right. So the measures of center rose. For instance, you can see the median rose, its position rose, but relative to each other, all of the positions changed by the same amount. They're all up by a total of 7. The spread did not change, just the measures of center. Everything went to the right. So, continuing then, part 7, let's say that each team doubles their week 1 score. So to do this, we're going to execute this command on the home screen. List 1 times 2, we're going to store that into list 3. So to the home screen, I'll clear my home screen. List 1 times 2, I'm going to store that into list 3. And just like before in step 8, we're going to run our one variable statistics on that new list, list 3. So there's the mean, there's the standard deviation, and I can get the range and the IQR from below, along with the median. So we'll go ahead and summarize those on the sheet. So the mean is 46.4 points. The median, as a measure of center, it's 47 points. So the standard deviation is 19.1. The range is 98, take away 4, so that's 94. And the IQR, Q3 minus Q1, 56 minus 34, that's 22. So comparing to the original values, notice the old mean, 23.2, 46.4, I've doubled the mean. The old median, 23.5, the new median, 47, it doubled. Notice though, now this time, the measures of spread also doubled. Let's start with the IQR. The old IQR was 11, the new IQR is 22. The old range was 47, the new range is 94, doubled that. Now we did round here, so the old standard deviation was 9.5, the new standard deviation is 19.1. So it did in fact double, we just have a small amount of rounding error in that case. So notice that multiplying all data values by the same amount multiplies both the measures of center and spread by that amount. So to observe why this is the case, again, let's graph box and whisker plots of all 3 lists simultaneously. We can use this same window that we used above. So the only thing left to do, I'm going to go turn on a third plot now, second y equals. Notice plot number 1 is on using list 1, that's the original data.